Out of all the cars I've ever owned, I don't think I've gotten as many compliments as this C6 Corvette, mostly from older white guys. And although everybody loves the way it sounds, I hate how loud it is. Now, I turned 32 this year, and maybe that is a sign of me growing up, but loud cars just aren't cool to me anymore. I like being quiet, because then you can speed by a cop, which I would never do because that's illegal, but like, they don't hear you. They don't look. They look for loud cars. Aside from the cops, it is just super annoying to drive this thing. This is my first car. It's an S14 96, and when I was a teenager, I took off the downpipe and ran it open header because I thought that was cool, and it was terrible. Do you remember when my S14 was open header?
Oh my god, yeah.
How bad was it?
It was horrible. It was terrible.
It was the absolute worst experience trying to talk to each other in that car, right?
Yeah, it was.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Are you gonna do it again, right?
No. My Corvette's so loud. I hate it, bro. It reminds me of that. It's so loud.
Is it that loud?
It's so loud.
Oh, that's so why you just give it to me?
I'll be there next week, bro. I'm about to put an exhaust on it. I'm filming a YouTube video. You're gonna be on YouTube.
Oh.
Say the N-word. Needless to say, this thing reminds me exactly of it, so we want to address that today, as well as I'm gonna put the rest of the exhaust on. When I bought the car, it came with it, but it didn't come on the car because the guy I got it from dropped the rear subframe out to change the transmission since he sheared the main shaft on the old T56. Anyway, I think it will look a lot better aesthetically with some pipes down there like it should. And on top of looking better, it will be quieter since the exhaust will stop dumping right behind the rear tire and we can get the sound, the decibels out past the bumper. It's amazing what a short amount of pipe can accomplish. So first of all, let's go ahead and pop the hood because I think something is going on over on that side. This became apparent to me in the first video when I was at Trevor's house and I fired it up and it blew a cloud of dust. Something was blowing dust. And if we look over here at the header, to me that looks like a gap that should not be there. So I'm pretty sure we're running. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gonna be where most of our noise is coming from. I'm gonna go ahead and jack the car up. Let's start with bolting that, see how much quieter it is. Then we'll move on to the axle back pipes. So we got it on the jack and the jack stand. I'm scared. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we got a broken stud. And this one has no nut. And let's see, is there a third one? There's no third. Let's see what the other side looks like. That one's on and tight. That one's on and tight. And yeah, no third. So, we need to get this broken stud out. And I think to do that, I'm gonna have to drop this downpipe off. And it also looks like it's been leaking from here and it's not tight. This one over here is solid. And we are definitely missing a nut here as well. This is definitely where all my exhaust noise is coming from. And that's also why my tuner thought I had no cats, because it's running open header on the passenger side, which is driving me insane. This one's missing a nut too. This is also like my solid first look under the car. And I don't think that's something that got smashed. I think that's a factory thing that was covered because it's here on the other side. And I gotta say, overall, I'm surprised with how straight this is. Doesn't look like it's been bottomed out a lot on either side. So that's good. Floor pans seem solid. Engine is leaking from somewhere, but I'm not concerned about that. What is very interesting is, look at this. What are these lines? From what I know, that looks like a trans cooler. But this thing's manual, so was it swapped? Or has this engine been swapped with one from an automatic? I don't know. If you guys know, let me know, but I believe the manuals wouldn't have a trans cooler. Anyway, let's go ahead, get some tools, and get the downpipe off. Wow. Thing flew right out. And someone broke the tab for me so I could disconnect it easy. There is our broken stud that we got to try to pull out. And if you look at all the soot everywhere, we can tell this thing's just been exhaust leaking absolutely everywhere. This thing, that's not going to be fun. I can at least get on it. So I'm going to see if my stud puller will just pop it right out. I might heat it up. I'm going to heat it up. I don't want to risk breaking this. I'll also take like a long half drive extension or a punch and beat the crap out of it. That will try to separate or loosen the threads. It's a trick we used at the machine shop, so hopefully between heat and pounding on it, it will come right out. The heat will draw in the WD-40. Just careful, because when it drips, it's really hot. Can't really hit it too much unless you crack the manifold. That would be too much. And we'll give the old stud puller a try if it will fit in here, which it will. I was a little worried, but she came right out. Really glad I did the heat, the pounding on it, and the WD-40. All those things help. If you just go for the stud puller right off the bat, that's when you break it and have to drill it. So it's better to just hit it with the trifecta. Then you have the highest chance of success. The one nut I pulled off, I went to check and make sure all our threads are the same so I can just go get these nuts. First of all, that's been replaced. See how this one has that and this one doesn't? The thread is different. Second of all, they've previously broken it, drilled it off center, and just rammed a random stud in there. I don't even know if it's tapped. Welcome to why I made a video on thread serting the oil pan, because like people do stuff like that, which is just insane. And if we look at the other side, the one missing a nut, it looks like it got the same treatment right here. So that stud is not even in. Now, I'm gonna level with y'all. As much as I could fix this correctly, I don't care. As long as it holds, it's good. So I'm gonna get two nuts that fit this new weird thread and put nuts on them. Get a stud, this thread, well, specifically this thread, and put that stud into the header. Then we'll put a nut on that, and we're gonna call that good enough, because this downpipe was about to fall out and I'm not about to waste my whole day on this. I'm just gonna bolt it back together and not worry about it. So off to the store to find nuts and bolts. Nuts and studs. Well, I just brought this inside to check the threading, and that is a hollowed out cat. So that also explains why it's so loud. This is a straight pipe 6.0, and I hate it. For now, we'll straight pipe it all the way to the back, see if I can live with it. I know it's gonna be better because it was open header. So if we can straight pipe it out the back, I might be able to live with it. Amagato is a straight up savage. She's a killer. Yeah? Don't let it eat my wiring. So after staring at this for a bit and being curious as to why this has a spacer, you see that's spaced out, I have come to the conclusion that there's a whole donut gasket that's missing on this one. We can confirm that by looking right there at the whole donut that's not on the other one. Not on this side, not on the downpipe side. So we're gonna have to see if we can find one of those, and I don't think that's gonna be a GM part because it's an aftermarket exhaust. So we're at about 3 1/4. Or is that? No, wait, that's 3 1/8. So the plan was to run to GM. I think we're gonna end up at an AutoZone because, like I said, that's not a GM exhaust. But I'm glad I found that out before, because now this thing can come with me and we can try to match up diameters on this side, and I might have to grab some studs that don't have that spacer. I don't really know. I think the donut just gets sandwiched, so I think it's okay. And then this thing, it turns out, is the same threading as this, but it's been pounded on with a hammer and the threads are all messed up. So I'm gonna cut it back a bit. If that fails, I will saw out this, and just make a bolt go in here and have a bolt and nut combo. Exactly like I did when I broke that stud in the Cummins head. Call me a genius or a half-assed mechanic. That took like 40 seconds. And now I'm ready to go. This is an actual representation of me.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I decided to use my brain and realize that that is the factory downpipe. Therefore, I could just go to Chevy and buy the donut and the gasket. I believe they're different passenger to driver side. At least that's what the guy said. I don't really know. There's the part numbers if you do need them. There's a donut. There's the header to downpipe gasket. They didn't have the studs in stock, so I shot to Ace and got 1 stud, 4 nuts, and I got the stainless locking nuts. We'll see how those work. The parts guy at GM tried to convince me that they wouldn't work, but I'm not really worried about it. They're stainless and they have the lock grooving, so it's gonna be better than what was on there, which was no nuts. Total, I spent $64 at GM and 10 at Ace, so $74. Honestly, whatever, I don't really care. I just want this thing to not smell like I'm breathing straight exhaust, and I don't want to be deaf anymore. I did swing by Walmart and grab an oil change as well, because I have put 6,000 miles on this thing, and the oil life indicator says it's still like at 60 or 70%, but as some of you have pointed out, it sounds like it has a miss, and I'd like to get the oil out if it's getting thinned down with gasoline. Anyway, time to bolt the downpipe on, see if it's quieter, change the oil. I can't seem to find my tap set anywhere, so I'm just gonna double nut it and drive this into the header with some oil on it, or anti-seize. Probably anti-seize. Ideally, I would chase the threads and run it in by hand, but I don't know where the tap is, so we gotta improvise. One stud installed. Now I'm gonna go ahead and brake clean all this and prep it for the gasket. Mexico, hell yes, brother. Nice. come on. You know how I said they didn't really thread it in all the way? Yeah, it came right out. So we're gonna do something else there. Simple solution, I have found an M8. This will just go right through. Then we can just put a nut on this side and that will work perfectly fine. I do this all the time.
I don't give a fuck.
Of course, a little anti-seize on it. But when you do it this way, if it does ever break, guess what? It just comes right out and you just put a new bolt in. It's so much better than messing around with anything. And these are lock nuts. They are off BC Racing coilovers. I save them because I reuse the OEM hardware and they're very nice to have around. The only thing is they're a 13 instead of a 12. Wow, super easy compared to trying to run a stud in here. And that is nice and tight. Based on what just happened to the other one of these, I'm not even gonna try running this thing. Yeah, it was barely in there. So once again, we'll go to a bolt and a nut. Much more solid. All right, well, that's 2 exhaust leaks fixed. It still dumps right by the rear subframe. If we take a look, you can see there's one of the dumps. The other one, the kick down, seems to have fallen off. So that one is melting the CV shaft back there. That is why I have a new CV shaft. But let's go ahead and see how it sounds like this. If it's okay, and if I don't get huffed out by exhaust fumes, like it was dumping. You saw that. It was like straight, that was open header. And it was not only annoying, but I just got high off fumes all the time and it sucked. I had to do windows down. So let's fire it up and see how it sounds now. If it's good enough, I might not put the rest of the exhaust on. Oh my God. That is so much quieter. I could live with that. That's so much better. Oh, why is it so smoky? Oh, it's just blowing dust up, huh? Hopefully, anyway. The only thing I want to do is I want to add a dump so it's not melting that CV shaft. But we can do that another time. So I'm happy with that. We're going to call that a success on making the Corvette quiet. It was ungodly loud before. So thanks for watching, guys. We got more Corvette content in the works. We're gonna have to do something, see why it sounds like it's missing. I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil, but I think first of all, we need to get a baseline. I think this thing needs to go to the dyno and we gotta see what the current power is. Then from there, we can progress and assess what's up with this thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Now, before you comment and say I should put the exhaust on for aesthetic reasons, I agree, I should. However, that CV shaft needs to be changed, as well as there's a loose brake line just hanging around under there. And I want to get that stuff done before I put the exhaust on, because I was looking around here and we have these 2 hangers. They should go to these. So I don't know if it goes over that, but look at that CV shaft. She's in need of a new boot. And then that brake line I'm talking about is, oh, I zip tied it up. This thing right here. So I want to address that stuff with the exhaust off. Then at a later point, we'll go ahead and mount it because I do like how Corvettes look with exhausts on them, but not today.